Raw, real, and just a little dangerous. This is Feral. Welcome back to Feral the Rewilding. It has been an incredible day. If you are just joining us, welcome. You are right on time, but you're going to want to go peep those replays. We've had incredible conversations so far, and now we are all here together to have a very important conversation with one of my all-time favorite strategists, Wendy frickin' White. Now, let me tell you a little something about Wendy.
Frickin' White.
Wendy frickin' White. Wendy frickin' White. There's multiple Wendy Whites, right? But there's only one Wendy frickin' White biz.
Absolutely.
Right? So let me tell you something about Wendy. I'm gonna just introduce Wendy and then I'm gonna get out of the way because she's gonna blow your mind with this thing that when I first learned from Wendy years ago changed my life forever. And I am not kidding. Because when I first met Wendy, I was timid AF. I didn't want to ruffle any feathers with my brand. I was incredibly liberal and queer, but didn't know if I should be raising my voices about issues that mattered to me. I hated things like bro marketing, but thought, well, I don't want to just awfulize and create more problems. I was very meek. I was very timid. And because of my meekness and timidity, I was very, very broke. So this next chunk of time is, again, exactly what we talked about with Eden this morning. It's not about being an asshole, but it is about being present and it is about being true to yourself. So when Wendy told me that one of the best things I could ever do was get myself an enemy, it changed my life forever. So Wendy is here today to help all of us to do something. And in doing so, stand out, right? How are we standing up? How are we standing out? And quite frankly, what are we standing against? So, Wendy, I'm going to let you take it away. I'm going to pop into the audience. I'll be in the chat. If you want me back at any reason, you just call me on back. But in the meantime, the floor is yours.
So will you take me back off the stage or do I have to figure out how to find my way out the exit when I'm done?
When you're done, I will exit you, my sweet.
Excellent. Fantastic. Thank you so much. I think I can handle this. I think I'm good to go.
Oh, what a great comment from Kate to kick us off on this before I pop off. The news has plenty of people I'm fine with being my enemy at the moment. Amen. Hallelujah, Kate. Take it away, Wendy.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So hi there and welcome to Get Yourself Some Enemies. That's what we're talking about today. We are talking about how to become the go-to expert that everyone remembers and refers and hires by getting you enemies. Yes, really. I'm so excited to be here with you today at the Feral Festival because I know you are a bunch of rule breakers, aren't you? You are a bunch of status quo challengers. So you're going to love getting enemies. This is a strategy that no one else is teaching. And the fantastic thing about it is it instantly positions you as different. We all want to be different, right? It instantly positions you as different, as better, and as the obvious choice to hire, which is always important, right? It's always been important to be able to explain how we are different and better and the one people should hire, but even more so now because doing what everyone else is doing and offering the same things as everyone else is offering and parroting other people is one reason that business is so hard these days. We are in a contracting market. You may have noticed. I have certainly noticed. Not a lot of new people are coming in, and every one of us is competing for the same pool of clients. Now, if we're going to take clients from competitors, we need to have a really clear reason why they should choose us instead of them, right? But most people don't have one. And so we're going to fix that. Does that work for you? Let me know if you're liking this idea. If we have not met before, I'm Wendy White, messaging strategist for coaches and consultants who are ready to become thought leaders, people who have something to say, a world to change with their point of view. I help you confidently communicate your unique genius so the world sits up and pays attention, so that you can pull away from that pack of cookie cutter entrepreneurs that you're paddling around in right now and start making an extraordinary impact on the world. Fantastic. Excellent. I see you're loving this idea. I love that. So here's what I know about you. Excellent. Seth is saying Wendy is awesome. I love it. Here's what I know about you. You are a smart business owner and you are wanting to bring in more leads and clients into your business. And so you're doing all of the marketing that we're all doing, right? You're running around the interwebs, dashing from here, dashing to there. You are networking, you are emailing, you are podcasting, you are speaking, You're dashing from platform to platform like they're giving away cake. And there is no cake. I checked. There is no cake. But if you're like most entrepreneurs, you're missing out on some income, some opportunities, and some perfect people because your messaging is sounding a bit like everyone else. A bit like everyone else in the market. Yes, Annie, cake is totally a lie. And so what's happening right now is instead of being recognized for that unique genius that you have, you may be coming across as just another entrepreneur, which is the worst, right? Because you're so much better than that. So happily, by the end of our chat today, we are going to make sure that you know exactly how to stand out as a go-to expert instead of just another entrepreneur and the only one they want to hire. I'm going to share something that I've been using in my business from day one, and you can use it too. It's my favorite trick and it's a treat, and you can start using it today, and you can use it all over the place, wherever you're trying to get clients, from social to your site to speaking, networking, the media, all over the damn place. So let's dive right in. I see that people in the chat want cake now that I dangled cake out there, but there isn't any cake. There isn't any cake. So let's go ahead and dive in. Now, everyone wants to stand out, and yet very few people actually do, right? So here is what everyone is getting wrong. They say the exact same thing as everybody else, and they expect to just kind of magically stand out, right? You've seen this. And here's the deal with this. If you don't want to look like everyone else, if you want to stand out, you need to say something different. I know it sounds so simple when I say it, but here's the thing. I am not talking about how you say it. I am talking about what you say. If you want to stand out, you need to stand for something as a business, as a brand, as a thought leader. Listen, we are in a world where everyone has a platform, right? Everyone has a platform. We are not going to get noticed unless we have something worth noticing. Everyone is so focused on visibility, but if it feels like you are just shouting into a void, this is why. You need to be immediately clear that you stand for something different and better. Without this, we're not really giving people a reason to choose us, a reason to hire us over competitors, except that we're the cheapest. And we don't want that, right? We want better. So this is the most important piece of your messaging, and it's one that 99% of the market is skipping right over. Now, skipping over this is not your fault. I want to be clear about that. There are way too many gurus who are telling coaches and consultants to just focus on what the market wants to hear. And believe me, I come from a sales background. We need to focus on what the market wants to hear. Absolutely. But the problem is no one is first positioning you as someone worth listening to. That's how you end up with messaging that sounds like everyone else. And so no wonder it's hard to stand out. No one is answering the question, what makes you so special? What makes you so special? I know you're good at what you do. You have the process, you have the results, you have the testimonials. Fantastic. Congratulations. But that's not enough. Let's assume everyone here has that same stuff. So why you? Why should they listen to you above all other options on the planet? Why should they hire you instead of 10,000 other coaches and consultants? Why should they put their trust and their belief and their money and their businesses, their lives in your hands? You need to answer this for your audience. Don't expect they're just going to figure it out, because they won't. Everyone wants to be a thought leader, but no one is telling you how to show up as one. And this is how: by standing for something different and better, and making sure that everyone knows everywhere all of the time. Deal? So that is my evil plan for today. Are you up for that? Are you up for that? Excellent. So she's doing stuff with PDFs that you literally did not know were possible. Fantastic. Excellent. So let's focus on how you tell them what you stand for. Most coaches who deal with this will ask you questions like, what's your why? Or what do you believe that everyone else should believe as well? Or my favorite, if you had a mic and 30 seconds to speak to the whole world, what would you say? And that's a good start, right? You've heard these questions, but you can still end up kind of generic and vague here. And we do not want generic and vague. We want special. We want extraordinary. So lucky for you, I'm not most coaches. Now, if we're going to be friends, you need to know right now that Halloween is my favorite holiday. Yes, it is. And one of my favorite things to do at Halloween is to watch all of the scary movies. Every year, I've got to go through and watch all the Scream movies and the 80s classics like The Lost Boy and Fright Night. And I absolutely love to be scared, but I'm not a big fan of gore. I don't know about you. Are you a fan of gore? The only movie with gore in it that I like is Tucker and Dale versus Evil because it is so brilliant and so funny that I just have to love it despite all that gore. If you haven't seen it, go get Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Write that down. Yes, that's my takeaway from this presentation. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because good versus evil, it's the plot of every scary movie, isn't it? It's the heroes versus the villains. And both are essential to that story. Not just the good guy, but that enemy that they're fighting against. And to be honest, that enemy, that's the one we remember, right? That's the one that really captures our imagination. Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Ghostface in Scream, that super creepy girl in the ring, I don't remember what her name was. But those enemies, those are the ones that are really the key to scary movies and why they feel so different from each other. Why it doesn't feel like the same movie over and over, even though the plot's pretty similar, right? It's why those movies keep making money. Now you're probably wondering, why on earth have I gone on this rabbit hole about scary movies? It's because my favorite strategy for standing out is to get yourself some enemies. The best way to be incredibly clear about what you stand for is to take a stand against something. It is easier and more powerful for us to call out that negative first, and then we can see the positive really clearly from there. Now, you may be thinking, wait, I don't really like this idea of standing against something. And I hear you. I've had other people tell me that before. But the truth is, you do stand against things. If not, you wouldn't be driven to create something new, something original. You got into this to change your industry and maybe even the world with your work. And your voice and your thought leadership, it's more important than ever right now. You know that, right? It is too important to be buried in all of the noise online from all the cookie cutter entrepreneurs. Don't you agree? Now, in a scary movie, there is a whole bunch of enemies, and they're not all people, right? Now, there's always what Joss Whedon used to call the big bad. That's the killers and the vampires and the demons, right? But those aren't the only things that our hero has to deal with, right? You also have the dark and the mist and that squeaky step that everyone always steps on. There's always a spooky owl, right? Who frankly is just like looking for a nice mosquito or a mouse snack. I'm not sure why, but that owl always freaks everyone out. There's always that inevitable, incredibly stupid instinct that says, why, yes, flying in the face of all common sense, you absolutely should go down those stairs into the basement by yourself and open that door to see who is on the porch. And you should definitely not call the police. I mean, just handle this yourself. I'm sure it'll be fine, right? You've seen that. So my point here is that your enemies aren't just people. They're anything that you are trying to defeat with your work. Does that make sense? I'm pop over here to see what you guys are saying. Yes. Oh my God, a Joss Whedon reference. Absolutely. Why not? So your enemies aren't just people. I am not talking about going around and trash talking the internet. That would be dumb. Okay. Your enemies are anything you're trying to defeat with your work. All of those things that keep your ideal client stuck. They could be circumstances. They could be gremlins in their heads. They could be common approaches and plain old bad advice from other people in your industry. But we are not talking about calling out specific people. You may have specific competitors whose methods that you really disagree with, and that's fantastic. But we're going to focus on the methods, not their names, okay? So when you think about specific competitors, I want you to ask yourself, what is it that they do or offer or teach that you stand against? This can actually be one of the most powerful enemies that you can get, because the best thing that you can take a stand against is something that allows you to stand right next to your ideal client, right? In every market, there is a gap. There are things that your ideal client wants and needs that are being ignored or just handled badly by the status quo. And you know this is true, right? A key part of your unique value is how you approach things differently and better than your competitors. How you help your clients in a way that no one else does. The best way to demonstrate that value to your audience is to take a stand against those status quo solutions that fail them. Challenge those common practices, those methods, that bad advice that's keeping your people stuck, so that you can be crystal clear that you offer a different and better way forward that's going to get them what they want. So this is how you stand out and how you become the obvious choice in a world full of people who are all saying the same thing, by getting yourself some enemies. So here's what you do. You choose what you stand against. You challenge them. You call out why those status quo solutions suck. And you do it everywhere, all the time. And you contrast that with what you stand for, that alternative that's going to get your clients what they actually want and need. Okay? And the best thing is that you can apply this immediately to dramatically upgrade your sales and marketing forever. You can use enemies right now in all of your messaging, and you can do this today in emails, in social media posts, in your site, and podcasts, in speaking gigs, in your media pitches. You guys were talking about media pitches before. You can use this to frame your media pitches. Wherever you are trying to get attention and get people to lean in and get them to choose you. Plus, it's an endless source of inspiration for content. The whole damn world is out there focused on how-to content, and that has its place. But this is where you show that you're a leader worth listening to, by really highlighting what you stand for and what you stand against. This is where you show your audience that you're the one that they have been seeking and the only one they need to hire. Now, you can come back to this repeatedly and position yourself in everything you do for the life of your business. So for me, I am constantly in my own business sharing what I stand for and what I stand against in all of my messaging. Every page of my site, in all of my offers, in all of my challenges and summits, in my emails, in my posts, on YouTube. I used it in this presentation. Did you notice that? The first thing I did was call out the enemy. I told you what everyone else is getting wrong, and then I offered you a different and better way forward to get you what you want, which is why you're still here. Now, you can get enemies every single time you're about to write an email or make a post or create a new offer, build a new sales page, or have a conversation with a client. The more that you do this, the more layers are going to emerge, and the more it's going to become second nature to frame everything this way, so that your unique genius and value are always blindingly obvious. And the more you do this, the better you're going to get at communicating a distinct point of view that differentiates you, so you can become the one that they remember and refer and hire. I see the chat still blowing up over here. Excellent. People are dropping their enemies. Absolutely. Go ahead and drop your enemies in the chat right now. I'd love to see them. Excellent. So if you like this messaging strategy, if you're excited to go get some enemies for yourself, let's keep the momentum going. I've got 2 options to do that. As Annie just dropped here in the chat, join me on implementation day for stand out by standing for something. This is going to be a fast-paced, hands-on workshop where we're going to use this process, my proven process, to tell them you're different and better and the only one to hire. We're going to apply this strategy to your own business with 5 key questions that you can do in 5 minutes. And you're going to get live coaching and real-time feedback and walk away buzzing to share your new messaging everywhere immediately. Excellent. I see people dropping there. Carol asked, how do you do this without sounding like you have to trash talk the competition to rise above? So again, we're not trash talking anybody. We're not going after Marie Forleo or anyone else you agree with. We're not talking about people's names. We're not even talking about people. We're talking about methods and solutions that have failed your client. So we're not trash talking. We're telling them why your business exists, because this problem in the industry is not being handled. It's either being skipped over or it's being handled wrongly. And every single one of you has this. It's why you started your businesses. So it's not about trash talking. It is not about calling out people. It is saying, this is why this business exists, is to help you with this. Excellent. So that's the first way you can keep going with this, is come to implementation day. The second way you can keep going with this if you want, is that I have an option for you to get more on your own time. Because you know what's even scarier than Freddy Krueger and Ghostface and all of those things that go bump in the night? Trying to market your business without clear client winning messaging. Whether you're pursuing networking or podcasting or speaking or social media or advertising or just relying on Google, if you want to stand out and have your perfect people understand why they've got to invest with you, you've got to be making sure that you have strong messaging. Every day you don't dial in your messaging is another day that all of that marketing is a waste of time and money and effort. And that just sucks, right? So we want to make sure that you get your messaging right. So I am gifting you my mini course, The Biggest Messaging Mistakes That Everyone Makes. I'm going to walk you through the 5 biggest messaging mistakes that everybody is making, plus how you can fix them, because I'm not a monster. So all you need to do is give me 20 minutes and I'll give you key messaging strategies you can apply immediately that will fix your sales and marketing forever. So you can stop sabotaging your success with weak messaging and start making all of that marketing actually pay off. So Annie's got the link for that. Excellent, Carol. I'm so glad. There's definitely something missing in my industry that I can address. Fantastic. And that's the point here. It's not about going out and getting enemies just to be an ass. It's about going, they can see you so much more clearly when they see what you stand against. And you have these things. Absolutely. So that's going to make your own value so much more clear. That's fantastic. I could see Jenny's popping in her enemies. Fantastic. I love that. 20 minutes and I will give you the world. Thank you, Seth. Seth's doing ads for me here in the chat. So this is what I wanted to share with you today. If you want to stand out as a go-to expert, you need to stand for something. And the easiest and most powerful way to be clear about what you stand for is to stand against something, to get yourself some enemies. And the best thing that you can take a stand against are status quo solutions that fail your audience. So you can be clear that you stand for a different and better way forward that's going to get your ideal client what they want. And when you do this, you stop being just one more option in the market and you start becoming the answer and the only one they should hire. So let's go get you some enemies. Deal?
The answer and the only one they should hire. Doesn't everybody just want to freaking be that? I love it. And like I said in the chat, I very much credit this work for the founding of the Non-Sleazy Sales Academy, because before I ever considered teaching sales, I knew that I hated the way sales were taught.
Exactly. And then you got specific about the ways you hated it. And then it was so easy to see how your methodology was different and addressing a gap in the market.
Enemy illuminated specific problems, which illuminated specific needs, which illuminated specific solutions, which gave me particular action points that I could go forth and pursue. But I do want to come on and refresh that, yes, we're not talking about being a butthead. We're not talking about being a jerk. We're certainly not talking about bashing people all over the internet. There's enough negativity out there, but you can bash the lie while saving the liar. That's okay to some degree. And also, Wendy and I acknowledge that a platform is a privilege and that your proximity to privilege does play a case in your safety making these enemies. So, keep yourself safe, keep yourself out there, but especially if you are part of a marginalized group, we need your voice even more. And if you feel safe to rise to the occasion of calling out those enemies, we need to hear from you. So the incomparable Wendy White, queen of enemies, arguably the scariest person I know, but in the most loving way. Thank you so freaking much for being here today. Wendy, any final thoughts from you, my love?
No, I think we hit it. And I love how you wrapped it up.